In this lesson, we're going to be talking about the coding program called Python. There are many reasons why you should learn how to use Python. For instance, it's a great beginner program that can be used as a stepping stone into other programming languages. It's used by lots of big companies like Google, Pinterest, Instagram, Disney, Yahoo, and many others. It can be used to develop prototypes, and anybody can begin working with it because it's easy to read. It just takes a little bit of patience and lots of practice. Now, Python is a coding program similar to Scratch, but there are some differences. For instance, in Scratch, each sprite has its own code. The sprites interact with each other through shared resources such as variables and messages. But in Python, each line of code is read by a Python interpreter, and the computer executes the instructions directly and in sequential order. In Scratch, each block is read in sequential order and each sprite has its own set of blocks, which may or may not interact with each other. But in Python, every line is read line by line from top to bottom, left to right, evaluating each statement, and indentation groups statements together. Now, when you're dealing with Python, you have the Python shell and the Python editor. Right now, I've opened up the editor, which displays the Python keywords in different colors and fonts to make it easier to find errors in your program code. And your shell allows you to actually run your code to see the results immediately. So in this case, this module is called your name. And the first variable in here is entitled name. Now, Python doesn't have a command for declaring variables. The variable's created the moment you assign something to it. So in this case, I've also asked for the user to input information. So in order to do that, I'm going to type in input. You see that it's in a different color. And in quotes, I'm going to ask, what is your name? And then for the output, I'm going to tell the computer to print hello world, this is, and then I'm going to tell it to print the variable name. So whatever is typed in will be responded. So we're going to run it to see how it goes and make sure you always have to save it before you can run it. Now in the shell, here we go. What's your name? So I'm going to type in my name, Latryce. Hello world, this is Latryce. So this is a quick way so you can see the different variables and how to input and get data from your user. Now I will discuss the different types of loops that are created within Python. So you have a for loop, which is used for iterating over a sequence. The for loop can execute a set of statements once for each item in a list per se. You have a while loop that can execute a set of statements as long as it's true. And then you also have if, elif, and else statements. If statements just say, okay, if this happens, do this. Elif means if the previous conditions weren't true, then try something else. And then when you use an else statement, it catches anything that wasn't included in the previous conditions. So in this module for rock, paper, scissors, I also imported random. So if you look right here, it says import random. This tells the program that the next variable that I give them, which is choices, is going to randomly choose one of these options. And it's going to ask the user whether they want to choose rock, paper, or scissors. Now, in the while loop, this all happens throughout the whole game or the code until the player chooses quit. Now, for the if statement, I said if the player equals what the computer chooses, then it's a tie. And it's going to print it's a tie. But if the player, and this is the elif, if the player chooses rock, but the computer chooses scissors, it's going to print you win. Now, in the else statement for this sequence of the code, it covers everything else. So you don't have to type in code for all of the different options if the player chooses rock. You could just say, if it's not these two options, just say the computer wins. and you have a different code for each of the options for paper, rock, and scissors as well. And so we're going to see how this goes. So we're going to go ahead and run this module. I'm going to save it. So rock crushes scissors, scissors cuts paper, paper covers rock. Do you want to be rock, paper, or scissors, or quit? So let's just say I want to be scissors. So look at there. The computer chose scissors. It's a tie. But what about rock? Oh, it's a tie again. Let's see if I can win one. Oh, I lost. I chose paper and the computer chose scissors, so the computer wins. So this is showing you the different types of loops that are able to be used within the Python program. Now let's talk about how to draw, how to use the Python turtle. The Python features the turtle, which allows the users to draw, kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch, which this ultimately becomes. So to start this off, you're going to import turtle, which is a function that's built within Python itself. And functions are used to utilize code in more than one place in the program, so you're not repeating yourself. And it's created by using a def statement, which is what I'm going to show you. So in this case, I defined that I wanted my pen color to be red. So I use the def label as red, saying that it's going to be red, and you use it as well for the movement of the turtle. So you would define up as well and tell how far. T4 tells the turtle to move forward 50 pixels or whatever the case you may want it to move. Now the thing is down here, once you define your function up here, you still have to declare how the computer is going to react. So if we want the computer to go up, now, up here, we defined our function saying that when the turtle moves forward 50 pixels, down here is turtle dot on press key, and then we're going to tell, this is in parentheses, this is the argument. So we want it to go up, and in order for it to go up, we have up and then a comma, and then in quotes, we have up. And this, you see the U is capitalized. This is very important because this is referring to the up key on the keyboard. And you would do the same for the colors. So turtle dot on key press for the color green, comma, and then I want them to press the letter G in order to change the colors. So you could do this in any type of way, change it any way, declare your functions. So let's see how this runs. So here's our turtle right here, which actually doesn't look like a turtle. It's really just an arrow. So when I use the right key, it turns the arrow. So now I'm moving forward. And look, our color is red. But let's say I want purple. So I'm going to press P. And look, we have a purple key. Let's move it again. And maybe I want green now. Now we have green. We're going to move it some more. Let's go this way. And yellow. Let's change the color. So now if we want to quit, I have a program that if you press C, the program clears itself. So I hope that I've answered all of the questions that you may have had in introducing Python to you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks.